This is Maebh. I'm Simone. Kev, Regan and Brogan. Maebh's 4.5. She starts reception next week. We were given Maebh's diagnosis at 10 days old. Normal pregnancy, normal labour, nothing was picked up at all. Maebh was born at 35 weeks, weighing 3 pounds 11. When she was born, she was whisked off to neonatal and we never saw her for 6 hours. But we were told that she was fine, she was breathing by herself, and everything was all okay. And when we eventually went over to see her, she'd got tubes coming out of everywhere. We looked to every monitor you could think of, oxygen, everything. And then we were told, have you noticed Maebh's hips don't move? No, we haven't. Maebh's hips didn't move, they only moved up and down, they didn't spread like a frog. Have they told you about her little ear? No, we haven't been told about her little ear. So she's got an underdeveloped right ear. And then as the day went on, she was just our 3 pound 11 little girl. Have they told you about her small mouth? Well, no. How can you tell she's got a small mouth? She's got a head the size of a tennis ball, and she's 3 pound 11. How can you decipher whether it's a small mouth? So the days went on, and it was, have they told you this? Have you noticed this? You know. So because of all these things, her low birth weight, her small ear, her small mouth, and her hips, they decided to do some genetic testing, which we were told we do it more often than not, so not to worry about it. 10 days later, I get a hand on the shoulder to say, we need to give you genetic testing results. Do you want to get Dad back up to the hospital? So Dad came up and we walked down, they walked us down the middle of the neonatal unit, us and a consultant, his reg and a nurse into the family room, and we were told that Maebh's got Edwards syndrome. I have done some LD nursing, so I knew briefly what Edwards syndrome was, so I completely fell to pieces. Dad's looking at me like hormonal, what is she going on about, what's the matter with her? And Dad said, so what does that mean for Maebh? And all the consultant said was, Maebh won't live till she's 6 weeks old. Handed us then a 9-sheet stapled together. This is all I can find off the NHS website. Go home, read that. And that was the end of that. We were discharged from the neonatal then 2.5 weeks later. Sent home on end-of-life palliative care. Community nurse followed us home, oxygen, feeding tube, and then that was that. We were kind of left to our own devices. Community nurses came out and had their own admission now. We still have the same community nurses. Their own admission, they would say that the first time that they ever saw Maebh, they didn't have any hope for her at all. And even now when we look back at photos, we can see now why they were so negative about Maebh, because she did look poorly, she was really pale, she was really lethargic, she very rarely opened her eyes. But obviously you can tell she's not like that. And she's just gone from strength to strength. We were out for 4 days out of the neonatal, and we were back in on the children's ward. We were back in on the children's ward for apnea, because she had some apnea spells, which they then wanted to label as having central apnea. As having central apnea, and we were determined that they weren't going to label her with anything else because she'd already been labelled with this trichomoniasis, and they already was really negative about her. We I was actually told that one consultant wouldn't treat Maebh if I was in the room with her because I was such a bad mom, and argued with her that if Maebh stopped breathing again, she wouldn't resuscitate her. And we would have to take them to court to get Maebh resuscitated because of her condition. Why would you resuscitate a child that's going to die prematurely? So I always been labelled as the bad one for fighting for my daughter. But it ended up that she got obstructive. She got obstructive apnea, so because her blood supply was so small, the airways being so small, she was just blocking up through milk. And we've just fought all the way. Everything that the consultant has ever said to us, we've questioned, which you shouldn't have to. You put your children's lives in these hands and you expect to believe what they tell you, but we just haven't. Everything, the slightest things we've argued with, even just to get antibiotics for a chest infection was a fight. We no longer take her to the GP to see a GP because we've got open access. He just tells us to go and use our open access, even if it's something minor. Use open access. He doesn't like to look at Maebh or admit she's got anything. So we're very friendly with our community nurses, and I can be on the phone to them. Not necessarily. I think it's been probably about 6 months since I've last spoken to them for Maebh, but on a friendly level, we talk to them quite often. But they do a lot for Maebh. They do prescriptions and things like that. We've fought for a nursery place at a specialist nursery for her, and she's done time for twos and a normal nursery placement at this specialist nursery, and she's come on massively, absolutely massively. She's still non-verbal, she's still non-mobile, but we have recently got a walker for her, so she's starting to move her feet in a walker. And as you can see, she's a bit of a diva, and from what I keep being told, she's the queen of the class. And she does start reception next week at a special school which I also work at, so I'm just up the corridor from her. And she just, you can see from the photos, she just loves life. She's always smiling. She very rarely cries. If she cries, you know there's something wrong with her. She's upset. Well, she doesn't even cry when she's upset. She's poorly. Loves her brothers. Her brothers know her inside out. And she's just brought so much to us. It's a different life, but it's now our new norm. And if I can thank one person, obviously I need to thank Soft for everything they've done for us, but if I could thank one person from Soft that has really helped us way back, like 4.5 years ago, it would be Tina Mountjoy. She was my first contact when I emailed Soft, because again I'd never really heard of trisomy 18. And when I emailed, she got back to me, and we spent hours and hours on the phone with me just blubbering, like a blubbering mess down the phone. And the only question that I can remember asking her is, how do I tell my 7-year-old, 6-year-old, 7-year-old and 4-year-old that their baby sister is not going to survive? And she kept on at me, saying, you don't need to tell them. That's all I could imagine, is coming home and telling my 2 boys that the baby sister that they longed for wasn't going to come home and they weren't going to grow up together. And she just kept saying, you haven't got to tell them, you'll know what's right, you're their mom, you'll know what's right. And I never have, up until as they've got older, obviously they know life is different from all the other children, all the other baby sisters that they've seen. But Maeve is just naive to them. She's their older sister, and that's all I can ask for. They know that she may not live to the ripe old age of 90 or whatever, but it's their older sister and she's here and we very much live in the moment. That's Maeve. Thank you for listening.
Thank you.